The screaming started again, high-pitched, desperate, the kind that made even passing strangers stop and look. A group of 3 schoolgirls stood frozen near the old oak tree behind the bus stop, clutching their bags tight, while 2 older boys circled them like predators. It was the 4th time this week, and every day the girls prayed someone, anyone, would step in. But nobody ever did, until the rumble of engines echoed from the end of the street. 12-year-old Amina held her sister Sarah close as the boys mocked their uniforms, tugged at their scarves and pushed them around. Amina tried to stay strong, but her voice trembled whenever she tried to speak. Their friend Hira stood behind them, her face red from crying. The older boys towered over them, confident and unchallenged. They waited until teachers were gone and parents were busy, after school when the street felt empty. Every day the girls walked home faster, hoping not to be noticed. But bullies smell fear, they used it like fuel, and by the 4th day, Amina couldn't take it anymore. She whispered to her sister, "If we run to the main road, maybe someone will help us this time." But they were too late. The boys stepped in front of them again, blocking their path. This time, the leader of the bullies snatched Sarah's notebook. "What are you going to do about it?" he taunted. Sarah's eyes filled with tears as he tossed her notebook into a muddy puddle. Amina clenched her fists, shaking with helpless rage. Then came the sound that changed everything. A deep growl of motorcycle engines rolled through the air like thunder. The bullies paused. The girls froze. The engines grew louder until 4 massive bikes turned the corner, gleaming under the afternoon light. Their riders wore black jackets with a silver emblem, an eagle with spread wings. Everyone in town knew them. They were rough, loud, and intimidating. But those who knew their real story understood something else. They protected those who couldn't protect themselves. The biker in front killed his engine first. He removed his helmet, revealing a rugged, calm face with sharp eyes that missed nothing. His name was Malik, the leader of the Eagle Riders Motorcycle Club, known for helping people quietly without expecting anything in return. He saw the bullies, the frightened girls, and the notebook floating in the puddle. His voice was steady and low. "Is there a problem?" The bullies instantly stepped back. They were brave only when facing someone weaker, but Malik wasn't someone they could intimidate. The boys exchanged nervous glances. One tried to laugh it off. "Nothing, we were just joking." Malik didn't smile. I didn't hear anyone laughing. The other bikers spread out beside him, forming a silent wall. They didn't touch the bullies. They didn't threaten them. They simply stood there, tall and unmoving, letting the boys feel the weight of their presence. The leader bully swallowed hard. We're leaving." But Malik wasn't done. "You will pick up her notebook," he said quietly. The boy looked at the puddle, then at Malik's expression. He quickly grabbed the soaked notebook and handed it to Sarah with shaking hands. Then the boys ran off down the street, disappearing behind the trees. For the first time in days, the girls breathed freely. Amina stepped forward, her voice unsteady. "Thank you. We didn't know what to do anymore." Malik crouched down to Sarah's level and handed her a clean handkerchief. "No child should walk home afraid," he said gently. "But you did the right thing. You stood together." Hira whispered, "They're waiting for us every day. They won't stop." Malik nodded slowly. "Then we won't stop either." The next day, when school ended, the girls walked out nervously. Their feet felt heavy with dread. But as soon as they turned the corner, they saw them. The 4 bikers parked along the sidewalk, arms crossed, sunglasses hiding their eyes, engines idling like watchful lions. This time, the bullies didn't even show up. The following days became different in a way the girls never imagined. Malik and his group escorted them not with sirens or drama, but with simple, respectful presence. Sometimes they walked the girls home on foot, talking casually so the children wouldn't feel scared. Other days they stayed near the bus stop, pretending to be adjusting their bikes while keeping an eye on everything. The girls began to smile again, but challenges continued. The bullies started spreading lies at school, claiming the girls were snitches. They tried turning classmates against them. Amina struggled with anxiety, wondering if the bikers would eventually get tired of protecting them. Sarah had nightmares. Hira stopped raising her hand in class, afraid of being noticed. The girls weren't just fighting bullies, they were fighting the fear that lived inside them. Malik understood. So one day, he sat them down at a quiet park and said, "Courage is not never being scared. Courage is choosing to stand up even when your voice shakes." Amina looked at him. "But how do we stop feeling afraid?" By becoming stronger than the people who try to break you, he said, and strength grows when good people stand together. He didn't fight their battles for them, he guided them to face their fears. Slowly, the girls began telling their teachers about the bullying. They opened up to their parents, and the school, once silent about such matters, finally took action. The bullies' parents were called, disciplinary actions were taken, and for the first time, the boys realized their actions had consequences. Weeks passed, and with each passing day, the girls grew more confident. They no longer flinched at footsteps behind them. They walked home laughing, feeling safe, strong, and supported. One afternoon, Amina turned to Malik and said, "We're not scared anymore." Malik smiled, a rare, proud smile. "Good, because the world needs brave young girls like you." On their final escort day, the bikers revved their engines one last time. The girls stood on the sidewalk, waving happily. They no longer needed protection. They had learned to believe in themselves. As Malik rode off, he shouted over the roar of his bike, "Remember, courage is contagious. Pass it on." And they did. From that day forward, those three schoolgirls grew into voices of strength for other kids. They helped classmates who felt alone. They stood up against cruelty. They remembered what it felt like to be afraid and what it felt like to overcome it. Because a group of bikers didn't just chase away bullies, they lit a fire of courage that kept burning long after the engines faded.